Good afternoon and welcome to today's edition of the Warrior Daily. I'm Cameron Weidenthaler, joined by women's basketball coach Carrie Lohr, recapping the 2013-14 season. Another solid season. Talk about making it to the Sweet 16 for the second consecutive year.
It was really exciting. This team really exceeded my expectations. Coming in, having so many new faces, and really having the opportunity to be on that stage, the NCAA stage, and it's a big platform. And I thought, we really played well our first two games, and didn't play so well the last. And obviously, that's also a compliment to Drury and how good of a team they are. So, it's been exciting.
What individual moments from the whole season, postseason and regular season, will you remember when you think back a few years from now, when you think back about this team and this season?
I think being in the locker room at Finley after that game and knowing that we had swept the South. And that was something that, all of our returners and coaches, just to say that we did that was a pretty cool moment. And I remember that, and I remember announcing that, and I remember the excitement. Playing at Bellarmine in the tournament, I just thought I was just kind of saw a different look in their eye. We lost it a little bit along the way and stumbled a little bit, and I just think that that's basketball, and it's going to happen. And I think the other, obviously, most memorable time was clinching the league, and not really having it set in. It took a while. I think because somebody said to me, hey, I'm really sorry you guys lost in the Sweet 16, and just the way that person said it to me, I thought, well, wait a minute, we were actually in the tournament, and then looking back, winning the league and kind of breaking that curse, I guess. Yeah. So there's quite a few hot spots that were really fun.
I'm sure there's several other moments that fans and the players will remember, but you touched on it a little bit. Talk about some of those highs and lows. We had both in spades this year, it seemed like. Talk about how much the team matured from October until March. I mean, really grew up.
Oh, wow. That was a different team, I think. I think with any team, whether it's their transfers coming in or new recruits coming in, anytime you have that many new faces, I think there's some, maybe some insecurities, there's some competitiveness, but yet that feeling that they still want to all be teammates. So I think you just go through some emotional, personally each player does. They maybe lose their confidence because they see somebody executing something that they want to be doing. And I think that that's natural. I really do. I don't think that that's a negative thing to have that competition within your team. But from the beginning of the season till that last trip to Missouri, everything about that team seemed different to me from beginning, if I were just to compare it from October to March. In a good way, with a lot of growth, a lot of maturity, a lot more cohesiveness. I mean, there was a lot of individuals early, and to nobody's credit or blame, I just think it's a process. It takes time, and they definitely embraced that team philosophy, and like I said, really exceeded where I thought we would end up.
You touched on it again a little bit. Talk about this team's culture now. It seems that you're the team to beat in the GLIAC, and that we knew that coming in after last year. But there seemed, when you do it in consecutive years and you continued on, there starts to breed this culture of winning. Talk about how important that is to you to develop.
I'm not sure what we're going to look like when we take the floor in the fall, but I definitely think that pressure got to us. I think that we were playing tight down the stretch. Now, on the flip side of that, people had played us already. We had won some close games, and there was a different plan maybe against us. So I get that it works. It was a chess match. It went both ways. But I think mentally, though, we got a little tight. And when we went to the national tournament, to step on the floor and play Indy, who was the number 2 team in the number 3 team in the
region.
region.
Yeah, in the region.
We played them better as if we were playing, like a lot of those pressure games that we had
we
didn't close out. And then to turn around and we beat the 3rd team, then we played the number 2 team and played probably even a little bit better. So it was refreshing to say, okay, that's the team.
There we are.
There we are.
Yeah.
Didn't do that against Drury, and again, Drury is a great team, and all those teams were very solid and good out there. But I'm anxious now to see what happens if we've kind of got that confidence back, because we approached that NCAA tournament with a lot of confidence, and I think we had lost that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be critical coming back with that bullseye.
Yeah. To wrap up here, give us a way too early preview of next year. You lose one senior. Just one senior, but it is an impactful senior. Martin Redfield had a pretty solid career. But it's just one senior, so next year the expectations should be high. You said you didn't know what it's going to look like, but I think the fans and some of the parents that watch this team kind of have an idea what it might look like. Talk about your expectations for 2014-15.
Well, first of all, we have to stay healthy.
Yeah, always.
And it's very early, but we've already had discussions about just some things that we want to change and do differently, and things that we had wanted to change, but gosh, now it's February. Do you change that, or do you just kind of grind out what you have and stick with it? So, without question, we are going to become a better defensive team. Mm-hmm. We were not a good defensive team, and we have to. We have to become a better defensive team, and I think that's got to be kind of the mindset moving forward. We have the style in, we have the philosophy, we have, I think, expectations.
Yep.
We have to become better defenders.
That's number one.
That's
goal.
number one.
All right. Well, thanks for the time, and I appreciate the time all season. It was a lot of fun watching the women play this year.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks for watching this edition of the Warrior Daily.